Palma. Oh,
man.
that's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game.
To Del Fuentes.
Oh, wow.
Delgado makes the shot and knocks it down. Maloria is open. 3-point.
My goodness! Isang jumper by Robin Celis.
Caballero has time.
Now it's Martin Rosso. Turnaround jumper. Oh my goodness!
It's been a very hot afternoon and this summer season that we have here in the Philippines, but for the first time this season, the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League troops to Marikina City. We're live from the Marikina Sports Complex for our Friday triple header on day 54 of the 7th season of the MPBL. Earlier, we saw the Imus Brotherhood regaining their bearings and getting back on the winning column in a big win against the Manila Batang Quiapo. Now we have the Cebu Classic facing the Mindoro Tamaraos sa ating second game tonight. And the Cebu Classic are on a 3-game losing streak. The last time that they won was last April 14 pa laban sa QC. Pero iba ang nagiging karanasan ng Mindoro Tamaraos because they've been on an upward trend lately. 5-6 right now and they're hoping to get back into 500 tonight against the Cebu Classic. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. This is Javi Palanya, joined by Coach Mike Perez. And Coach Mike, what has really stood out to you in this winning streak that Mindoro is currently on right now?
Well, I think it's the togetherness. I mean, these guys have been playing together, playing with a lot of joy, and you know they love each other's company, and it translates to the results of their games.
Conversely naman, para dito sa Cebu, Coach, 3-game losing streak, as I mentioned, what's gonna take para sa kanila to turn things around?
Guys stepping up, lalo na some players, key players right now not gonna be available, so other opportunities for the other guys para dito sa Cebu.
The young guns have to step up to the plate para sa Cebu Classic. Mapapanood nyo ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino on our Facebook and YouTube channels as well as on Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays beginning at 6 o'clock p.m. Ms. Gian Lianes is at courtside. We're going to hear from her later. Let's talk about the last game of the Cebu Classic. They lost to the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers. They had a bad start in that game, but they were able to recover. Paolo Hubalde got them out of that hole that they were in. But then Rizal regained their bearings and was able to establish that lead once again. And after 3 quarters, hindi na nakabalik ang Cebu Classic, although they did outscore Rizal in that 4th quarter.
Lalo na without their key player, and Dennis Santos has been one of the guys that's leading scoring-wise para sa kanila. Paolo Ubalde and Grian Mendoza actually had 19 and 18 points respectively. Well, the challenge has been getting rebounds, clogging the paint, and defending transition. That's pretty much been the story. They're minus 13 on rebounds, minus 10 on points in the paint, which shows you they gotta get stops inside that shaded area, and then a minus 17 fast break points, pretty much challenge in transition defense.
And it was very curious also for us that after Paolo Hubalde scored 19 points through 3 quarters, di na sa binalik in that 4th quarter, and I think that also really contributed to their demise in that game against Rizal. While itong Mindoro naman, they've been playing so well as of late, and they won 4 of their last 5 games. Ever since Coach Benji Teodoro took over, Mindoro has been a different team. And they won their last game against Davao.
Yeah, and they led by as much as 27 points en route to that victory. Sid Rifa led the team with 23 points. Comboy added 10, and Andre Bienes had 10 points as well. And this game really just shows you that Mindoro continues to impress. I mean, knocking down threes, making half of their shots, making their free throws, maximizing the turnover games. Look at that, only 3 missed free throws, making 20 of them, and having only 6 turnovers while converting 23 points on the 10 turnovers that they forced on the Davao team.
And Coach, you mentioned the togetherness that has really been a very different factor for them in the past few games that they've had after they lost to Pampanga. They won their last 2 games by an average margin of almost 21 points per game. And that has really been what has pulled Mindoro out of the slump that they were in previously.
Yeah, I agree. And this is going to be very interesting how this game turns out between Mindoro and Cebu.
All right, let's go to Miguel Pere.
Starting at guard number 16, Darren Madliguez. Also at guard number 23, Boom Boom Tampos. Coming in at center number 9, Dolan Adlawan. Forward number 10, John Habonete. And the other forward, number 13, Mark Meneses. The head coach for Cebu Classic is Walter Ora with Mike Reyes, Eric C. Junda Jose, Marlon Zambrano, Davis Salenga, Joseph Quid, and Ron Clemente. Team manager is Anthony Eduarte. Now the starting fives for Mindoro Tamaraws. Starting at guard, number 23, June Manzo. Also at guard, number 16, RJ Ramirez. Center, number 27, Jonas Tibayan. Forward, number 6, Bam Bam Gamalinda. And the other forward, number 3, Ino Comboy. The head coach for Mindoro Tamaraws is Benji Chodoro, assisted by Axel Lenigo, Ken Bono, Joseph Sedorifa, and JC Libunao. Team manager is Sandra Norte. Team owner is Paula Oriental Mindoro. Honorable Mayor Jennifer Ina.
Check out our starters, our starting five, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. The Cebu Classic trying to get out of a 3-game losing streak. We'll be starting with Daryl Manligas and Bupong Tampos in the backcourt, joined by Dolan Adlawan, John Habonete, and Mark Meneses. Samantala sa kabilang panig naman, it's June Manzo, RJ Ramirez, Jonas Tibayan, Bam Bam Gamalinda, and Ino Comboy. Welcome to the second game of your Friday triple header here at the Marikina Sports Complex. This is the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Magandang hapon muli sa inyong lahat. Javi Palanya joined by Coach Mike Perez. Miss Gianna Llanes is at courtside in the Mindoro Tamaraws. Won their last 2 games against Marikina and Davao. They won by 21 against the Shoemasters and 22 against the Davao Occidental Tigers. But the Cebu Classic getting the first basket in this game, and very important for Cebu to have a good start sa laro na to, Coach Mike, compared to what they had against Rizal.
Napakahalaga talaga ng magandang simula para dito sa Cebu because, you know, some of your top scorers are not really available in this game. And so other guys like Jameson Hero, Daryl Manligas, and those guys got to step up, especially on the scoring side. The question now is, where's the scoring going to come from? Do they have enough scorers on the floor? I think they do. They just have to take volume shots.
And I think the importance of having a good start against a team that's really been on a roll recently is just really of high value.
Oo. At saka you know, they've been fluid itong Mindoro, and you want to challenge that and disrupt their flow and make it difficult, and at the same time make shots, just like how Habonete has done in that part.
Habonete looking good here to start this game. All 5 points of the Cebu Classic coming from the former Mapua Cardinal. Gamalinda looking for Inocombo. Instead, he goes to June Manzo. Jonas Tibayan hands it off to RJ Ramirez. Mindoro yet to get on the board. Can this be the possession they finally score a basket? That 3-point shot is long. Tampos looking to push here for the Classic. Meneses, a full head of steam, and he gets the bounce.
And just by looking at personal alone, you know today's gonna be a fast break game para dito sa Cebu Classics. You know, no Ladis Lepalam. Well, thankfully, Denny Santos right there on the bench. I think he's gonna see action today, and so that's gonna be pretty good for Cebu.
Manzo, who's been working a lot on gaining some muscle. He's been in the gym a lot lately. Gets that push shot to go. That's been his specialty throughout his career. Those hook shots have been a patented part of his ball game.
At saka ang kailangan dito sa Cebu Classics, kailangan matyaga ka rin dumipensa. Kasi itong Mindoro, they like to go on their flow offense where, you know, a lot of cutting, a lot of exchange on the weak side. And so you got to stay with your man, stay with your defensive principles, so as not to allow that flow to be in that rhythm para dito sa Mindoro.
Dolan Adlawan, who is only averaging 1.7 points per game this season, getting his first basket, is also a rare start para sa kanya. Getting the opportunity from Coach Mike Reyes. That's a miss galing kay Manzo. The Classic looking ahead. Tampos, this is what he does best, but he misses. Meneses does too. Bots the opportunity for the Classic. Mindoro on the flip side. The spin from Gamalinda overshoots that one. Manzo That one's a miss as well. Both teams exchanging missed shots. Tampus, drop step, running into two defenders. Meneses gets a handle on that basketball, and Cebu will look to set this one up. Marami pang oras sa kanilang shot clock. Manligues splits the defense. Tampus, corner, pocket, three. Yes, sir!
That looked good. And tempo so far really on the side of the Cebu Classics. Their own version of fast speed gaming.
Playing without some key players tonight, but looking very good. Ito Cebu Classic, and Boom Boom Tampus at the forefront of that. He's featured in our three-point shot of the game, brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Time out for the Mindoro Tamaraos. We'll take a short break.
Kayo ay nanonood pa rin ng Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. For this match, Cebu Classic only has 10 players, pero ayon kay Coach Mike Reyes, you cannot discount these 10 players because they are all very strong. And with them being the underdog this match daw, this will challenge them to be even closer as a team. Ang mensahe ni Coach Mike sa kanyang koponan before this game, naiintindihan niya sila. It is not easy to forget about their emotions, but what they can hold on to today is their love for the game of basketball. Despite being undermanned for this match, we'll still witness Coach Mike Reyes smiling on the sidelines as a source of inspiration for the Classic to stay positive amidst any situation. Back to you, Javi and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. Excellent report there. You know, when a team is down and going through something, it's important for the guy who's steering the ship to really be that source of inspiration and positivity. And it's very admirable that Coach Mike Reyes has really taken on this job to see his team get back on track, and we're seeing the fruits of that here in the first quarter. Coach, his team looking very good. They're up by 12 points.
Especially as you try and get a good rhythm of wins for your team, and as you go against a very formidable Mindoro Tamaraos, short on some key players. You just love a leader who says the right things in situations that, you know, you gotta need that energy for your team.
And of course, Coach Mike, you know this being a coach yourself. You know, life will certainly throw a lot of problems at you. But when you're playing this game and you try and put back things that are happening, you go back to your roots at mabubuhay muli that fire inside you and that passion on why you're actually trying to do this.
That is right. And you know, in one of my posts on my Facebook, one of the coaches that I talked to a lot, Coach Ronel Loteri, who was one of the assistant coaches of the Benil team sometime 2000, he said it clearly that if the relationship between the player and the coach is done right, there is a bond that no one else would ever understand except for that player and that coach. So that, I feel, is one of the things that Coach Mike is actually building with his team. Make no mistake, this is a strong team in Cebu.
This is the fast break of the game, brought to you by Extreme X Spa Personal Karaoke Speaker every day. Karaoke. Nice finish there with the left hand. Mark Meneses. The Cebu Classic really looking to score in transition here to begin this game. Axel Inigo pumasok na, the playing assistant coach of the Mindoro Tamaraos, trying to fish for a foul, but no whistle was blown. Our referees in this game, crew chief is Alan Manzano, Dexter Arcega, umpire 1, and Efren Aganon, umpire 2. 14-2, Mindoro struggling to score the basketball, while the Cebu Classic have really turned on a frenetic pace to begin this game. Adlawan will try to add to his total, but that three-pointer is off to the left. Sedorifa, he was the hot hand in that game against the Davao Tigers. Comboy working the two-man game with Jonas Tibayan. Bienes gives it to Sedorifa. Three-pointer, no good, but the tap goes back to Mindoro. Sedorifa, another chance. Still no good. Adlawan aggressively pulling that down para sa Cebu. Manligues lost it. That's going to be last touch on him. It will go back the way of Mindoro.
Contrasting style of play. Siya na mangyayari dito para sa dalawang team. You see, for the most part, Cebu would love to push the pace and try to take advantage of their foot speed. And ito namang Mindoro would try to slow it down, get to their flow offense. And, whichever tempo gets dictated, it depends on how these guys are going to respond to each other.
Bienes working with his college buddy in Axel Inigo, two former FEU Tamaraos. Bono, no good on the three-point shot. Bienes this time underneath, gets the basket, +1.
Now, if you're Mindoro, yeah, sure you're trailing. You don't want to be trailing early in the game, but you like that you're seeing those looks on those shots. They're really not just falling in.
This is our assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. And what about that pass coming from Hans Maikon? He too has been a vital part of the bench mob for Mindoro recently.
Right. And you'd like to think that every guy that you put on the floor would actually respond. And going back, nakakita ng looks ang Mindoro. They're really not just making it. It answers all the questions of shooting, who, where, and when. So who's shooting? It's the right guy. When are they shooting? When they're free. And, really just not making it. Yun lang ang kailangan nilang ma-resolve to get those shots.
Ombis could not make that three-point shot. Kakapasok niya lang. Bienes could not break down the defense of De Los Santos. Gives it up to Inigo. Maikong, that pass a little behind. One fake, fades away. Jumper no good. Mendoza with the board. Mendoza has scored on all three-point shots this season. Has not yet been able to convert a basket inside the arc para sa Cebu Classic. A sniper at a Far Eastern University.
And itong Mindoro also loves to go to their three game. Right now, they haven't made any. You got guys like Cedorifa, Combo, Axel, even Ken Bono that can shoot it from there. And Ken had a couple shots already. He was free. Hindi lang talaga pumapasok pa.
This time, he wants it against Pompist near the basket. Bono goes to his back to the basket game. That hook shot, masyado malakas. Bangkale gets it to Mendoza. Misses on the three. Meneses pulls it down and gets it back up.
Oh, Mark Meneses, how about that? That's what you love about him. Last year when you saw him in Pangasinan, di ba? Yung quality minutes na binibigay niya, napakaganda. But right now, he's on a different level of confidence, if you ask me.
Given the opportunity to have much more responsibility on his shoulders, has certainly given him that boost in his game. That he gives up the foul here on Hans Maikong.
That's importante is playing loose. No, he's not tight. And tapos na yung rookie jitters natin first year.
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Hans Maikong out of Olivares College in Parañaque. Played under Coach Mike Sagigit. Starting his career here this season in the MPBL under Mindoro's new head coach, Benji Teodoro. Jeco Bangkale, vital cog of Mapua's championship run in the NCAA. Matched up against Bienes. The crossover to the middle. Pompist almost traveled. Gives it back to Jeco. Bangkale, that's a warm-up jumper off the heel. Oh, Inigo loses it. The classic on the counter. Bangkale had to adjust. That one short. Cedorifa pushing. He has Maikong on the left side. Cedorifa decelerates, gets it off the glass.
Alam ni rin Cedorifa na one of the leading shot blockers from last season itong si Mark Meneses. So you gotta be careful with your footwork and throw him off tempo pag tira niya.
Double high setup for the Classic. Bangkale goes to Homfist. He's missed two shots now from the outside. Axel tried to get it to Bono, but that's off Cebu player Possession will stay with Mindoro. A minute and 34 remaining here in the first quarter. Cebu continuing to hold on to this 16-8 advantage. Not a lot of fouls being called in this game. Cebu with 2 team fouls. Mindoro only with 1. Mike Gong behind the line. Wala. Now the Classic will try to slow things down and get something going in their half court.
And one thing that hasn't gone the way of Mindoro, I don't think they've ever beaten a primary defender yet, no? Halos lahat ng depensa ng Cebu nakatapat sa kanila on every attack.
Coach Cebu came into that game against Rizal as the number 2 defensive team in the league. Although that has changed, they dropped down to number 5, I believe. But still, you still see in this game, especially the mettle that they have on that side of the basketball. Sedoripa gives it up. Bono will not take the shot. Still a lot of time on their 24. Inigo goes to Sedoripa. 2 outside snipers. Bono, that one's short.
Didn't have a lift.
Sedoripa will try his luck. Short rin yun.
Oh, wow.
Mindoro only shooting below 50%. 15% in this game.
Not in the flow, the usual flow of the Tamaraws.
That shot was wild. Sedoripa will not force it. Gets it back. This time he'll take it. Sedoripa, nothing but bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, they're getting their looks. They're not making them. And now that you see that goal go through the net, hopefully that starts something here for Mindoro.
Was exactly that fire starter para sa Mindoro in that game against Davao. Once he got going, Davao absolutely just had a hard time getting back in that game. And Joseph Sedoripa trying to lead this comeback right now for the Tamaraws. Just the guy that we were talking about, Joseph Sedoripa, 23 points against the Tigers in their last matchup. He had 15 of those 23 in that second quarter. And for Mindoro, for him to come alive from the outside after a lackluster performance from three-point country in their first few games, that certainly is a welcome sign, especially with the play that they're having right now as of late.
Yeah, lalo na he's their top shooter from anywhere on the floor. I mean, from the middies, from threes, he's 54% from the perimeter, 42% from three, almost an 80% free throw shooter. And you gotta get him involved offensively and get him to that flow.
And Mindoro knows when Joseph Sedoripa gets going, it gets easier for the other players. Bangkale from way downtown. My goodness, Jeko Bangkale. And that's with the defense in front of him still. Game clock, shot clock, winding down. Jeko Bangkale, they're going to check if it's good. But what a basket para kay Jeko Bangkale to pull Cebu away from a drought that they were experiencing after Mindoro threatened to come back. After the review, that three-point shot of Jeko Bangkale will count near half court. Jeko Bangkale with Axel Inigo draped all over him, rattles one home.
And really just understanding clock right there. And knowing that the clock was winding, you got to get it up. Like what we told you, you get these guys in a flow, they're going to be real good.
Cebu making a good account of themselves here against the Mindoro Tamaraws. 19-11 ang ating score.
Because Pasig City for the start in this quarter. Manaytay able to slide in, scores the basket.
Wamar spins, high arcing jumper.
It's always going to be very tough.
Oh, that was clutch. Robbie Celis coming up big here.
Sanko is there, one more. Fights Marquez! Oh, what a play! What a play! The Knights survive! Nueva Ecija stays unbeaten.
Back inside the Marikina Sports Complex, and we bring to you our fan of the game, brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. This is the second game of your Friday triple header. You have the Cebu Classic going up against the Mindoro Tamarao. Second quarter now underway. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Javi Palanya joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Gianna Lianes. And Coach, your thoughts about that first quarter for the Cebu Classic, unlike the way that they started against the Rizal Golden Coolers in their last game?
Well, I think they played with a lot of pace, which was really what they wanted to do. Daryl Manliguez and Tampos started that game on a fast note, and Mindoro wasn't making their shots despite getting good looks. And the good thing was Cebu was actually knocking down shots in the latter part of the game, but Bangkale able to make that buzzer beater in the end. And we'll see still how these guys respond. I feel the longer this game becomes fast, it's more favorable for Cebu.
And you just saw in the first quarter field goal story earlier, this free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. 4 out of 24 para sa Mindoro and 8 out of 20 for Cebu. 16% for the Tamaraos and 40% for the Classic. That's a staggering difference. And yet the Tamaraos are down by just 6 at this point.
And when you play with a lot of pace, lalo na kung ikaw ang Cebu, you get energy, lalo na if you make shots. Now, if you're defending like the Mindoro Tamaraos, considering the heat in this gym, it could wear you down as well. And so it's very important for the Tamaraos to get into a good rhythm, good energy about themselves, so that they get into their usual Mindoro Tamaraos stuff.
But do you think, Coach, the pace of Cebu, was that something that Mindoro wasn't ready for?
I think given the changes in the roster, they weren't ready for that. For the most part, really, they're also a slow-down game, half-court sets with Paolo, Ladis, and Denny Santos pretty much. But this trio of Tampos, Bangkale, Daryl Manliguez, Mark Meneses, these guys love to run, and so you gotta play to your advantage in that aspect.
I think that's more of their natural game, Coach. If you really try to maximize the strengths of the roster that they have right now, this is a very capable running team.
Yeah. By default, ika nga, pag hinihamo maglaro yung mga yan, talagang tatakbuhin niya, magtatakbuhan yan, and they love to run the open floor.
At saka puro bata itong mga to, Coach.
Yes. Ganda pa ng mga handles, no? Bibilis na tumakbo.
At that time, they mishandled the basketball. Gamalinda forces it inside, misses on the layup. That's off Meneses. It will stay with Mindoro. Wala pang 2 minuto nakakalipas dito sa ating pangalawang yugto. This is still an 8-point lead that Mindoro is trying to get back from.
Right.
Ramirez will trigger in from the baseline. Homeboy fakes the 3, drives inside, kicks it out. Bono will also do the same, leans in closer. Ken Bono has struggled with his shot here in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. And, not that he's taking forced shots. Libre din di ba?
0 out of 4 so far. That's a high looping shot galing kay Ino Comboy.
One guy that they gotta get going from 3. Itong si Ino Comboy. He's 34% three-point shooter, and you gotta get him to those spots where he's taking those free shots coming out of the movements on the offense.
I think that's the one thing also, Coach, that has been apparent in their wins as of late. It's been Ino Comboy really taking charge offensively para sa kanila.
And he does it either start of the game or towards latter part when they really need it.
And here he is trying to get on the board. Rattles out that 3-point shot. The Classic are running. Tampos drops it up. Meneses, that bit too short. Tampos is there for the cleanup job.
Don't you? If you're Cebu, you just love this tandem of Mark Meneses and Boom Tampos. Just a lot of elevation when they jump.
And for them, coach, you know, I think it feels like playground basketball to them.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like this kind of game is very fun para sa kanila. Yung magtatakbuhan lang sila, papasahan, you know, really try and push the pace.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, absolutely.
Bangkale drops it up, Holmqvist. Push shot, wala, gets his own miss. Second serving is good para kay Ken Holmqvist.
And Ken Bono getting a little bit frustrated right now, you know, giving offensive rebounds.
He's not happy with himself
No,
visibly right now. You could see the look on his face.
Right.
This is an 8-point lead. Gamalinda drives inside, wala. Tampus. Bono tried to foul. Bangkale ahead. Bangkale will score.
And at the rate this game's been played, well, it sure is, at the very least, tiring out this Mindoro Tamaraos. You see RJ Ramirez and Gamalinda right there, hand on their knees.
This is our fast break of the game, brought to you by Extreme X Play on-the-go speaker. Take your music anywhere. Well, that time it was the Mindoro Tamaraos getting a score in transition. But right now, Coach, you said hand on the knees for both Ramirez and the other guys. Well, that's going to be a tough battle for them as they try to get out of this 10-point hole. Up next for the Mindoro Tamaraos, they face the Manila Batang Quiapo on May 22. 6 days after that, it's the Bacolod Tubo Slashers. And after, on June 5, they will go up against the Basilan Viva Port Masters, who lost a thriller of a game yesterday to the Binyanta Takjal. Let's go courtside to Ms. Gianna Lianes.
Ethan Galang is not playing for Mindoro today, but ayon kay Coach Benji Tudoro, he is recovering. Ibinahagi ni Coach Benji, hindi lang siya laking Mindoro, but he was also the very first head coach ng Mindoro nung sumali sila sa MPBL in 2019, and he shares he is now in disbelief with how far the Tamaraos have come since then. Napakasaya daw niya sa turnout ng huling laro ng kanyang kupunan against Davao. In his words, nakikita na ang chemistry namin at klaro na ang role ng bawat player. He shares that Mindoro's goal right now is to make it to the playoffs, so they had to straighten out some things their last huddle. Boxing out was in the conversation as well as organizing plays. They are taking shots daw pero walang nagsiset ng magagandang plays. So he adds, once we create, everything will follow. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Gianna. And you know, for Coach Benji, I think this is a full circle moment para sa kanya, you know, being the first head coach of this team here in this league. That time, they didn't have this much talent that they have right now.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, this is a league that prides itself not just on coaches with their systems, but as well as the players, you know, being quality players playing in their respective teams. And so, kailangan mo yun para magkaroon ka ng fighting chance.
Gianna mentioned that Ethan Galang is still not yet suited up for this game. He has missed the past few games for the Tamaraos. And that's another guy that has been a weapon for the Tamaraos this season.
And I feel Ethan Galang best fits this kind of game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, takbuhan, kaya makapagbungguan.
He can play at any level. You see there, Dolan Adlawan running the floor para sa Cebu Classic. He's taken advantage of the opportunity given to him tonight by Coach Mike Reyes.
Yeah, I agree. And these guys have nothing to lose. And they put a lot of pride on their preparation for this game. Good finish right there by Adlawan.
That's our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. 3-point play completed by Mr. Adlawan. He has 5 points in this game. More importantly, putting Cebu up 30-17.
Tsaka I'm sure ang laking panghihinayang kung ikaw ang Cebu, understanding na si Darren Manligas nasa floor and you're gonna play slow break game. You're not maximizing on who that guy is. Full length of the floor. I don't think there's anyone that's fast and strong enough to go up with him. And let alone sila JC, of course.
And I'm sure Coach Mike Reyes understands that. He knows that his players like to play a certain way and he's trying to maximize that tonight, especially against a team like Mindoro, who's been on a roll lately.
And he's really just giving them the freedom to choose on how to play. You know, ito lang yung ano natin, yung philosophies natin. You know, play to it. And Comboy right now knocking down another 3, and gotta get himself going if you're the Tamaraws.
He's got 7 points at this point of the game. Nothing much the Cebu defense could have done there. 30-20. The Classic up by 10. Abonete goes to Boom Boom Tampos. Tampos hands it off to Manligues. Manligues uses the allowance screen. Tampos from the outside to beat the shot clock. Boom Boom Tampos.
A perfect execution of a middle ball screen ending up with a shake action. Tampos really just lifted out of the corner, and that swing pass by Manligues really right on the money.
Trying to get out of that identity that they've been showing in this game. That time slowing things up and getting it late in the shot clock. But the answer para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws coming from RJ Ramirez.
And if you're the Mindoro Tamaraws now, you have to understand you're within striking distance. So no need to panic. You just got to get into our rhythm.
Hiro was open, did not take the shot. Instead gives it up to Tampos. He needs someone to pass to. Another late clock situation here for the Classic. Hiro will go one-on-one. This is what he does best, but it's going to be a 3-second violation. Laban kay Dolan Adlawan. He was waiting for something to happen.
And Jameson here, in my opinion, made a mistake of trying to beat that defense of RJ Ramirez. No way you're beating that guy. So might as well just move that ball, keep that ball hot, and the other guy's moving.
That is still something that he has to learn. He's a young player and still certainly a long way to go para sa kanya. Although he's shown us lots of flashes of brilliance over the years, playing for Valenzuela previously. Jonas Tibayan getting that tip in to go.
I do agree. And Jameson Hero was last year's James Fa and John Fa. And so, gaining a lot of maturity here for Jameson Hero as well.
Tampos pulls back between the legs. Comboy playing him right. Picks up his dribble. Hero takes the shot. Downtown connection. Galing kay Jameson Hero.
How about that?
I'm sure he feels good after that make, redeeming himself from that error that he did just a couple of possessions ago. Ramirez leads it for Jun Manzo. Manzo backs down Hero. The cut by Tibayan. Extra pass.
There you go.
Gamalinda finishes strong.
There you go. That's playing to your strength. Jonas Tibayan inside the paint. Bam Gamalinda moving weak sided.
Talk about playing to your strengths. That is certainly a strength of Daryl Manligues' game. Defense was not set up properly yet. Did not wait for them. And he just went straight to the rack, taking it strong. Daryl Manligues, but Mindoro doing it quickly as well on the other side. But there's a guy down for the Classic. This looks like it's Jan Habonete.
Habonete, that's right. But Javi, if you're gonna splice those last two plays, see this drive right here by Manligues. Tough finish, going on his weak hand. Finished with the right.
And that's a tough angle to work with as well. Ayun, natamaan si Habonete. Nabagsakan. I think it was an inadvertent hit. Oh, but it looks like it was quite the hard hit.
Right.
He still stays on the floor. Might have been hit below his left eye. This is something that could become a very serious hit para sa Cebu Classic because Habonete has been splendid for them in this game.
Oh, lalo na. A combination of strength and playing length of the floor. We'll see that again. Goes in there from the back, trying to position himself.
Ayun, natamaan na si Jonas Tibayan.
Inadvertent.
Our medical team on site is attending to him right now. There's some blood on that right eye, below the right eye. But we hope it's nothing serious and he gets to go back into the game.
I agree, and then the Classic's definitely gonna need him. Kasi si Jonas, when he went up, it looked like he wanted to touch the board pa nga to regain some balance as he was airborne.
Bonete currently with 7 points and 5 rebounds. He started this game for the Classic. He's a homegrown for Cebu, and he certainly has given a lot of energy para sa kanyang kupunan sa laro na to. he's being held up here by our medical team as well as technical OIC Jojo Belnas.
And I mean, you just love it when opposing players, look after each other. Jun Manso just went over to Abonete and, told him to, feel better.
Eh, kapwa Cebuano niya yan.
Isa pa yun.
Gamalinda able to make the first free throw. Gamalinda struggled to start this game, but recently here in the second quarter, he's been able to take advantage of those scoring opportunities. However, he splits those 2 free throws.
Yeah, tsaka Javi, we've seen games where Jonas Tibayan tandems really well with Bam Gamalinda. I mean, inside out. Ang kulang lang siguro dito si Ethan Galang na lang, no?
It might not be the tallest combination in the front court, pero ang gugulang kasi nila, coach, they know how to play even if they're undersized.
Yeah, and when we say gulang, we mean experienced.
Mismo, coach.
Diba? Alam na sa dami ng larong nailaro nila.
That's a dangerous pass made by Manligues.
Oh,
Turnover for Cebu.
Agree, not a good pass at all.
That's a foul given up by Jameson Hiro. Mindoro still down here by 11 points, by the way.
I would have loved for Manligues to just stop maybe 15 foot in, pull up or floater, just like how Jun Manso would normally do in that situation. Because pretty much every time downhill, it goes on a 1-2 step, try and finish on a layup. But you're not always going to claim that spot in the paint. And so you got to be wiser than that. Stop and pop.
I think that's the difference between Manzo and Daryl Manligues. Manzo is more stop and go, while Manligues just has 1 gear usually, and that's
Agree.
Adlawan taking it to the rack. Meneses is there again, trailing the play. How many times have we seen it here in the first half? Mark Meneses going for those putback attempts whenever there's a miss on the break.
He almost looks like a bigger Boom Tampos, no?
Actually,
on the floor,
yeah.
diba? Parang ganun, but tama na si Adlawan, ilang beses na yun, no? Fast break, siya yung finish.
That's even more responsibility on his shoulders right now para kay Dolan Adlawan, that now that Janjan Habonete is sidelined after that hit below his right eye. Check out our special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Meneses connects on the free throw.
That's one part of his game that he's got to be better on. He's only shooting 44% from the line, and the big guy that you are, you're gonna get fouled a lot.
1:38 to go here in the first half. 12 hinahabol dito ng Mindoro. Marilao picks it back up. Ramirez to Sedoripa. Shot clock at 5. Sedoripa gets that ball swiped from him. Another chance to run for Cebu. De Los Santos the gather the score.
And RJ Ramirez, got tempted into trying to steal that ball. He felt he was faster. Indeed, he's faster, pero good response right there, and high rip on a 1-2 finish.
When you're a lefty and you get that angle, it's pretty hard to stop.
Hirap na nga.
Sedoripa looks at the clock, almost traveled. Tibayan behind the line, that one's short. Offensive rebound by Ramirez. Lost it. Sedoripa could not save it. It will go the way of Cebu.
And one thing that can't happen if you're the Tamaros, your primary scorers should not second guess themselves. I mean, Sedoripa was 3 for a moment right there. I thought he could have taken the shot, but it's just the defense that's making them second guess.
Coach Mike Reyes will burn a ceasefire here. Cebu still up 41-27. Nagbabalik ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Check out our Gixxer fans of the game, born for greatness. This is day 54 of the 7th season of the MPBL. Miss Sheila Ruiz Inigo, ang may bahay ni Axel Inigo in the venue in support of her better half. So the crowd starting to pull in here on a Friday night dito sa Marikina Sports Complex. Marikina Shoemasters will be defending their home floor for the first time this season later on against the Bulacan Cuyas. Right now we have the Cebu Classic up by 14 against the Mindoro Tamaraos. The Tamaraos have won 4 of their last 5 games, while Cebu is on a 3-game losing streak, which they hope to end today. And Brian Mendoza adding to that cause. That's a 3-point shot. He continues to hit from the outside. All of his points have come from 3-point country this season.
Wow. And previous to that, he's missed a couple, but you know, just trusting your practice and your preparation from that spot. One more.
Mendoza could it go back-to-back? Rebound to Sedorifa. That was a quick trigger for Brian Mendoza. This gives Mindoro the time. Manza, that's a clean block from Menet. Cebu on the counter. De Los Santos will take it. Still a lot of time on the clock. Akala niya siguro wala nang oras.
Kasi walang clock dun sa side.
Sedorifa swings it to the left side. Manzo, 3 seconds left. There's a foul against Cebu. That's not a good foul. The Classic already over the limit.
Daryl wants this review, but I don't think they will. Definitely. Coach Mike and the other coaches saw that there was contact, so they're not giving that a go.
So without the review, 2 free throws will be given here to June Manzo. Mindoro Tamaraos, their struggles offensively here in the first half have contributed to them being down by this much. Manzo even misses on his first free throw. Coach Benji Teodoro with a look of concern on his face right now. Their winning streak on the line. Ever since he took over in that game against Pampanga, which they lost by 4, they've won their last 2 games by an average winning margin of 22 points. And that's going to do it. Our first half comes to a close, but looks like there was a whistle blown as that buzzer sounded.
Oh boy, this quarter's not even ending yet.
Coach Junda Jose, Coach Eric C, the assistant coaches of Cebu, absolutely frustrated with that whistle. There you see them trying to argue their case.
Kung yun naman ang itsura ng frustrated ni Coach Eric C, paano pa ba yung pagmasaya na?
Pero our referees, after reviewing that last sequence, decided that hindi na nila itutuloy yung tawag, and that's gonna be the end of our first half. The Cebu Classic up 44-27.
Annihilating Oscar De La Hoya's. That is the most spectacular one-punch shot of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career. And he fights his way off and goes down again. Straight left land for Manny. Does he have Cotto in trouble? Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Huge left hand by Pacquiao. Punch after punch after punch. And he finds the straight left hand. And there's the punching gun. Look at the brilliant accuracy of Manny Pacquiao. Landing with both right and left hands. This is why we use the word sensation.
Morante because Pasig City with a start in this quarter. Manaytay able to slide in, scores the basket.
Wamar spins, high arcing jumper.
It's always going to be very tough.
Oh, that was clutch. Robbie Celis coming up big here.
Back. Sanko is there, Wamar fights Marquez. Oh, what a play! What a play! The Knights survive! Thereby siya stays unbeaten.
We're at the half here between the Cebu Classic and the Mindoro Tamaraos. The score is 44-27. The Cebu Classic playing without some of their key players tonight, and they're looking like a very different team, Coach. They've been looking to push the pace each opportunity they get.
And almost every key stat there has been more the favor of Cebu. They're shooting well, almost half of their shots going in at 46%. They've shared the ball real well, lalo na in open transitions, and so you look at the inside points, a lot of that has come from fast breaks, to which they're a +7 in that department. Everything humming well so far para dito sa Classics.
And we talk about going to their roots, Coach. This team very capable of really running the floor, and that's exactly what they've done tonight against the Mindoro Tamaraos, who they have pushed out of their comfort zone in this game. Mindoro has not been able to find a rhythm offensively, only shooting 24% from the field in this game.
And so the expectation is that things are going to be better the second for the Tamaraos.
Well, it took a while for them to come out of that dugout. They had a very lengthy discussion at halftime with the Mindoro Tamaraos. Cebu is led by Boom Boom Tampos with 8 points. The scoring has been evenly spread out para sa Classic sa laro na to, while on the other side, Rifa and Comboy leading the charge for the Tamaraos with 5 points apiece.
Needless to say, if you benchmark against the previous games of the Tamaraos, pretty much a slow start for them. But the good thing is they're within striking distance, and so expect that this is going to be, I think, a slower second half, as Mindoro would want to dictate this pace.
This is very different scenario for them compared to the past two games where they were the aggressors from start to finish. Viennes is open,
There
gets
you go.
it to go, and that just might start it for the Mindoro Tamaraos, coming in with renewed energy here. You see the look on their faces, their body language, so much different to that first half.
And more importantly, that shot came within a flow to which they are very confident. And then Brandre making that shot from the outside. Sure, Mark scored inside. Forget about that. Go back to that flow.
And that flow was absent constantly in the first two quarters for the Mindoro Tamaraos. Ramirez trying to break down Habonete, who's back after getting hit below his left eye. Manligues will set up the table here for the Classic. Habonete gives it up. Meneses, he loves those corners. 3-point shot is long. Viennes will let that sail out of bounds.
And the Classics are going to stay with that zone.
This is our assist of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Fuel more game with 1xBet.
Once they get into that half-court set, at some point, these guys are going to stick to that zone, try to clog that paint, and just allow shots from the outside. But Branry, twice already outside.
Back-to-back hits from downtown galing kay Brandre Bienes. This time it's from the deep left corner, the former FEU Tamarao, giving some life here to Mindoro.
2 of 2 on their last 2 attempts. This is looking more like Tamarao's basketball.
They were down by as much as 17 points. Tampus wants to get it back. No good. Ramirez with a board.
Well, at the very least, yung unang tatlong possessions looking more like Tamarao's pace, no?
Bono, he struggled in the first half. Still could not get a shot to drop. That pass tapped out of bounds by Mindoro. Quite a dangerous pass to make. Mark Meneses and the Cebu Classic trying to maintain this lead as we take a look at this three-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Talking about three-point shots, Kent Holmqvist just missed, but Tampus is there to put those 2 points inside para sa Cebu.
And so far, these scores of the Cebu Classics on the half-court set have come from the paint. One of them off offensive rebounds. They haven't made anything from the outside. And the good thing about the Tamaraos, they're locating runners. They're trying to find out where Boom Tampos is before they head down to defend in the half court.
Yeah, there's a foul call against Mindoro. And the thing with Boom Boom Tampos is he's quite a hard guy to catch up to.
Ang likot kasi.
Manliguez gives it up there. And this was the miss by Holmqvist before Tampos picks it up and in stride puts the 2 points off the bank. Daryl Manliguez this time scoring para sa Cebu and pushes the lead back up to 17.
That made basket by Tampos really came off a missed box out by Cedorifa.
Bono continues to struggle in this game. Ken Bono, 0 out of 6 right now from the field, while Daryl Manliguez making that find to Ken Holmqvist.
And Ken understands that this has got to be a foot race if you're going up against Bono.
Ramirez spins, he loses it. Manliguez picks it up. Cebu in transition.
They got
Manliguez
numbers.
sees Meneses, the drop of Habonete on the reverse, blocked by Comboy. Second opportunity, that's good para kay John Habonete.
RJ Ramirez got blocked from the back. Daryl Manliguez got past Ken Bono. And from that point, they got numbers.
The effort being shown here by the Cebu Classic, an inspired one. They're trying to get themselves out of this 3-game losing streak that they are in against the Mindoro Tamaraos team who has been playing well as of late. They're up 54-33. Up next for the Cebu Classic on their schedule, they go up against Pasay, Basilan, and Sarangani. John Habonete and his crew trying to prime themselves up for that matchup against the Pasay Voyagers. Let's go courtside to Miss Gianna Llanes.
John Habonete is definitely playing with a lot of heart right now. Earlier, we saw him nursing a cut under his right eye after being hit. Sabi niya na hindi siya sure kung ano yung nakatama sa kanya, pero parang siko daw. But he does add na hindi naman ata sinadya. It was actually funny when he was on the floor earlier, our medical staff showed him a photo on their phone to make sure his vision was okay. And it was, dahil na-identify naman niya ang litrato ni Boss Manny Pacquiao, which did make him smile. Once his cut was patched up, the medical staff did him the go signal to get back into the game. He says that now he is using this as fuel that he can get through anything in this match. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. Thanks for catching us up on the situation of John Habonete. Nice to know that he is back on the floor and doing well. Wala masyadong serious threat to his play on the floor. In fact, he's already scored here in the third quarter para dito sa Cebu Classic and helping them maintain this advantage.
Ang maganda doon, nakilala niya si Boss Manny.
Ayun na nga. Mahirap kung di mo na makilala si Boss Manny.
Yeah. Quick thinking also on the medics.
Hompist took his
Oh,
time,
man.
swisses it through. 3 points para kay Ken Hompist.
And Holmqvist so far is winning this matchup of the bigs.
Here he is defending Jonas Tibayan. He's got 7 points, talking about Hompist. Bienes kicks it out. Cedorifa had
Sure.
5 points in the first half. That one is off the foot of Jonas Tibayan.
Well, you love that Jonas Tibayan's right there on the low block. Heft, you know, he's gonna be able to carry the contact inside, but the length of Holmqvist is one that makes it difficult for him para maka-discarte ba kung paano siya i-score. Ang haba rin kasi ng reach nito ni Holmqvist.
Manliguez drives left. Meneses, that's a dangerous pass picked off by Comboy. Abonete giving chase. Comboy! That's a goaltend.
And quick thinking by Wendell Comboy right there. He knew Mark was not going to take that shot on the corner, lalo na he missed one on the other side earlier, and so he knew he was going to flip back to the top, got into the passing lanes, and finished it off.
Already hit the board when Abonete got his hand on the rock. Cebu with possession again. 57-35. Holmqvist fader. That's off to the left. Tibayan to Cedorifa. He's open. He's going to take it. Joseph Cedorifa from downtown.
And that's just the mentality that you need to have if you're Joseph. I mean, they're leaving you wide open. Go and take it.
23 points in the game against the Davao Occidental Tigers. Poured in a lot of his damage in the second quarter. Holmqvist steps on the brakes. There's a push. And I think that's going to go against Cebu. Meneses will pick up his second personal foul. We're past the halfway point of quarter number 3.
We're lucky for Mindoro. They got that call. Another offensive rebound would have been Mark Meneses' another putback.
Dolan Adlawan is back in the game. He had a superb first half. He started the game for the Cebu Classic. Brought a lot of energy. Just like the other bigs of Cebu are giving their team right now. That's a hit by Adlawan that decks Jonas Tibayan. He's holding on to his midsection.
And these are things, especially if you're up big, you don't want to happen because napapag-usapan natin madalas ito, yung mga ganyan tawag, nagsuswing ng momentum eh.
Didn't even have to review it. Our referees call a non-sportsmanlike foul against Dolan Adlawan. Dolan Adlawan acknowledging his mistake there. They're still up by a comfortable amount, but this gives the opportunity for Mindoro to have a possible 4-point or 5-point swing with 2 free throws awarded here to Jonas Tibayan and ball possession coming back to them.
Boy, do the Tamarons need to make the most out of this. First off, make your free throws, then execute well offensively.
Oh, Tibayan misses on the first. Mindoro was 5 out of 9 from the charity stripe in the first half. Take a look at what happened. Adlawan tried to hide the hit. And he thought that, being behind him, di makikita ng mga referees.
Feeling niya nakatago eh. No?
Oo. Pero kitang-kita ng ating mga officials. Bienes gives it up. Comboy is free for 3.
Looks
That's
good.
all the space he needs.
Yeah. And Ino Comboy faked out a wide pin down for the corner, instead made it look like a flare.
That's now 10 points in the game para kay Ino Comboy. He and Ray Bienes are leading the charge scoring-wise para dito sa Mindoro. Bienes has 9.
4 3-point shooters on the floor at the same time for the Tamaraos right now. They're looking to spread the floor.
In a 1-3-1 zone right now, ang Mindoro Tamaraos. Tampos trying to bust that one with a 3-point shot on the left corner to no avail. Axel Inigo had spot minutes in the first half. He'll try to settle things down here for the Tamaraos. They're down by 15. Comboy working the 2-man game with Bienes. That's a tandem that has worked well since the high school ranks. Tibayan gives it up. Bienes, couple of fakes, puts it up. Well defended on the shot. There's a foul. Double black eye laban sa Mindoro.
Well, Comboy at that point from the top was actually waiting for a pitch back from, was it Bienes, I think, if I recall correctly. Waiting for a pitch back from Jonas Tibayan, but didn't get it.
Bienes started off this quarter with back-to-back threes, but he will get a breather first. His team continues to be down in this game, 57-42. Mindoro will stick with this zone. Abonete, no, that's Jeco Bancale. That three rims out. Inigo uses the Tibayan screen. Lobs it inside to Jonas. The kick out, Cedoripa hesitated for that three. Launches, does it hit? Gamalinda brings another opportunity here for the Tamaraws. Gamalinda hangs in the air and draws the foul.
Boy, this has been a struggle game for Bam Gamalinda.
It's been that way for this Tamaraw squad this entire game. That field goal shooting percentage has not gone up significantly.
The guy's good for roughly about 42% shooting from the field. Right now he's shooting just 11%, going 1 of 9 from the field. And Bam Gamalinda, for the most part, tries to camp outside, being a delay big that facilitates from the top. And so far, he hasn't gotten that look.
Check out our special deal from 1xBet. When you scan the QR code and claim your special offer, and hopefully for Mindoro, those 2 free throws will get Bam Gamalinda going in this game.
And then they are still within, reach of Cebu.
Tampus back to Bancale. Jeco trying to test the mettle of the defense of Axel Inigo. He gets a hand on that basketball. Comboy on the left side. Inigo goes all the way. Comboy on the follow. Dangerous pass. Tampus gets to it. Tampus, the spin, the drop off. Ball tapped out of bounds. Cebu basketball.
That's Cebu basketball, but if you're Mindoro, you like the way they defended. I mean, guys running out to different spots on the floor where that lead pass is going to go.
At that time, the Tamaraws giving Cebu a dose of their own medicine. Mendoza puts the ball on the deck. Almost traveled. De Los Santos is at the elbow. Spins to his strong side. He tried to pass to Tampos, but that one was tapped. They force a travel there on Mike De Los Santos.
Well, a couple of really good stops by the Tamaraws right now. You got to build on that, lalo na patapos nitong second quarter. Konting chip pa dito sa 11-point lead and give yourselves a fighting chance later on in the final quarter.
2 minutes and 15 seconds ang natitira dito sa ating pangatlong yugto. Mindoro down still, but now just by 11 points, 46-57. Some substitutions for Cebu. Hompvist will check back in. Tampus will take a seat on the bench.
And the game has slowed down considerably, especially in favor of the Tamaraws.
Can Mindoro continue its comeback? Comboy from the perimeter, no good. One and done possession for the Tamaraws. Bancale telling everybody to go back down. Meneses slows down. De Los Santos kicks it out. Hompvist will not go for the outside shot.
Loves this matchup.
Mendoza goes right, step back, three-pointer. Yes, sir! Ryan Mendoza!
Ang hirap nun, ha? Kaliwede, pupunta sa kanan.
But Comboy trying to go quick on the other side. That shot was foiled. Mindoro, though, will be keeping possession. What about that shot by Ryan Mendoza? And he continues to cook from downtown this season. 6 points in the game, both on threes.
Yeah. Step back away from the defense of Cedorifa that time.
Now, this guy played on a loaded FU squad in college that featured the likes of R.R. Garcia, J.R. Kawaling, Terence Romeo. Even Mark Baroka was part of that team.
Oh, and Bam Gamalinda really not getting into a good flow offensively for his team.
Gamalinda only with 5 points. He's 1 out of 10 from the field tonight. Cedorifa will check back in. Mindoro trying to go for some shooting here as we wind down the third quarter. Hans Maikong is also back in the game. Jeko Bangkale, hesitation, leaves Bono all the way with the left hand.
How about that? You know, konting separation lang pag freeze.
Stop and go. Ramirez goes to the fader. Basket taken back there by the Tamaraw. 62-48. A minute to go here in the third.
If you're Mindoro, get a couple of stops, then score twice as well. Try and trim this a little bit more.
Bangkale, that's a hit on him. Definitely a foul. Ramirez visibly frustrated with himself, slamming the ground after that foul. This is our Gixxer. Great move of the game, born for greatness. What about that freeze made by Bangkale? And he caught Ken Bono off timing, going all the way with the left hand.
Yeah, alam na niyang parating yung closeout ni Ken Bono. Nung malapit na sa kanya ay natake pababa. And ito namang naging foul para dito sa kay RJ Ramirez. Bangkale once again. Yung kontra-tempo ba na move niya. Akala ni RJ is the drive middle na ulit pero just went up straight for that shot.
That's one important aspect of a guard's game that all guards need to develop.
I agree.
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Those were only attempts 4 and 5 at the free throw line for Cebu tonight.
Yeah, and that's why as a guard it's very important start and stop. Not just continually going downhill and change of pace as well.
Ramirez leaves it for Maikong. Blocked up top by Holmqvist. Bangkale is pushing. He has Bono in front of him again. This time he takes it out. Holmqvist loses it from behind. Maikong forward to Sedoripa. He'll take his time here. Ramirez
I'd love for RJ to take this.
assessing the defense. Gets a screen from Bono. Ramirez has De Los Santos switching onto him, but Gamalinda has it right now.
Nice fake.
One fake, up and under move para kay Bam Bam Gamalinda.
Nice fake by Bam.
Only his second field goal tonight, but he has 7 points. This lead is at 13 for the Classic. They tried to trap Brian Mendoza, but Mindoro giving up that foul. This is our play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. The ever so crafty Bam Bam Gamalinda.
Yun yung gulang na sinasabi mo kanina, yung experience. Alam niyang may corner guy, nandun si Bangkale. So ba't ako mag-i-spin papunta sa baseline? Dito tayo sa gitna. Dito niya kinuha. So that off fake, able to get past that defense and little up and under for the very experienced Bam Gamalinda.
Brian Mendoza takes care of business on the first free throw. He has 7 points tonight, 2 out of 5 from three-point country. He remains perfect from the charity stripe. Cebu continuing to hold on to this double-digit lead.
They're gonna go for the last shot of the court.
18 seconds to work with here for the Tamaraws. They were down by as much as 24 in this game. Ramirez with the basketball. 10 seconds left. Bono offers the roadblock. Ramirez goes to the corner. Maikong steps on the sideline. Cebu basketball.
Bam Gamalinda, I felt wanted that three after he made that back pick for Maikong to fill out the corner. He felt that that defense is gonna go down as RJ goes.
Bangkale loses it for a bit, gives it up. De Los Santos has to heave. Not really his cup of tea there, and that's gonna do it. 3 quarters in the books between Mindoro and Cebu. The Classic trying to move out of their losing slump. They've lost 3 straight games after winning against QC, which happened last April 14. We now take a look at the highlights of this game brought to you by Ciplus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Well, I felt that was a 1 quarter for Mindoro. They slowed down the game, allowed only 4 fast break points for Cebu Classics. They executed well. But really, yung flow, may nakuha ka ng konti, pero there are some little bit more details that you gotta check if they want to win this game against the Classics.
Well, let's see if they can complete a comeback. 4th quarter of action sa aming pagbabalik. The score is 65-50. Marikina Sports Complex is our venue tonight for our Friday triple header dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. And we bring to you our LGR Sportswear fan outfit of the game, brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. See here some happy kids, also part of the crowd here inside the Marikina Sports Complex. The Shoemasters will be defending their home floor for the first time this year against the Bulacan Cuyas. That's right after this matchup between the Cebu Classic and the Mindoro Tamaraos. Experiencing a change of position after the last two games where they were up from start to finish. That was against Marikina and Davao. They won those games by 21 and 22 points respectively. But right now, they are on the opposite side of the pole, down by 15 entering this fourth quarter.
There are actually three guys on the Classics right now who are most probably on the way to a double-double. Two guys having 10 rebounds already. See the scoring right there. I like what I told you. The 23 points, a little bit better scoring in the third quarter para sa Mindoro.
But they could only outscore the Classics by 2 points.
By 2 points, right. Pero maganda yung recovery, no? You just gotta get more defensive stops.
Gamalinda, still no go on that jumper. It hasn't been very kind to him tonight.
And the three guys that's bound for a double-double, two guys with 10 rebounds already, Haboneta and Meneses. You know who the third guy is? Boom Tampol. He's got 10 rebounds. Already in double-double with 10
Oh,
points.
but what a move there. Grind Mendoza with that sidestep going to the left, but trying to finish with the right hand. The lefty showing us the bag. Trying to get something going inside.
Well, he's given quality minutes here for the Classics.
I think Mendoza, you know, just given the proper minutes, could really be a constant source of offense para dito sa Cebu. He had 18 points against the Rizal Golden Coolers, one of their bright spots in that game. Let's go courtside to Miss Gianna Llanes.
Ito nga ang unang season ni Brian Mendoza dito sa MPBL. He recently came from playing 3x3 basketball at ayon sa kanya, ang na-realize daw niya doon is that he shouldn't treat his teammates as teammates but as family. In his words, kasi pag family, you build trust, communicate better, and fight for each other. Siya nga daw ang Kuya Brian ng lahat, not just here in Cebu but also during his basketball ministries. A calling he felt during the pandemic, sharing that his ultimate personal goal is shaping the characters of the next generation through basketball and sharing the gospel. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat. Well, that's very nice of Grind Mendoza to really try and spread his ministry to the game that he loves. He's a native of Davao City, and I already mentioned earlier, played for the FU Tamaraos in college. Played for the TNT Tropang Giga in the PBA 3x3 and won some championships there.
And gustong-gusto mo yung mga players na ganyan, using this platform to, you know, spread out ministry and try to influence the young kids.
Especially in this day and age where social media and technology has really taken over.
Agree.
And nice to know that there are still some people who are willing to go back to their roots.
Agree. I say amen to that.
Indeed. And the Cebu Classics certainly are saying amen in their heads right now as they do believe that they are primed for a victory. But there's still a lot of time in this game, especially if the Mindoro Tamaraos can do something about it. They forced the turnover here. Sedorifa though got that ball tapped from behind. 2-on-1. Meneses has Hombist on the other side, but he will glide to the basket.
You know what? The Cebu Classics right now have 15 fast break points. But the thing is, it's only 4 points of turnovers yung pinanggalingan ng fast break niya. A lot of it has really been on the missed shots of Mindoro, which they turned into fast breaks.
And the fast break has been a constant source of their offense. This is our fast break of the game, brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme Magpalamig, free installation for split type air conditioners. The Cebu Classic looking really good still here as we begin things in the fourth quarter. Timeout for Mindoro. Back inside the Marikina Sports Complex. Tomorrow we will be witnessing the battle of the two undefeated squads in the Northern Division. The 10-0 Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards will be defending their home floor against the 9-0 San Juan Knights at the Nueva Ecija Coliseum in Palayan City. That's going to be our main game tomorrow, Saturday, May 17 at 8 o'clock p.m. That's going to be a matchup that everybody is salivating about right now. I'm sure, Coach, you will also be on the edge of your seats watching that match.
Alam mo kung sino siguradong manonood dyan? Yung mga supporters ng teams, yung mga fans ng MPBL, yung mga coaches and players, because that is surely going to be a showcase game tomorrow.
Lalo na yung mga teams sa Norte.
Oo.
Comboy, 3 for 3 on the break.
There you go.
Wendelino Comboy from the outside.
And there you go. Down 15, you got to get more of that.
Mindoro gets their 7th 3 of the game. The Tamaraos almost forcing another turnover. They try to trap De Los Santos. Ball sails out of bounds, but our referee saying it's still Cebu basketball.
And they were asking each other if they want to challenge this.
Here's what happened on the previous play. Gamalinda locating Ino Comboy on the right flank. Mindoro had 13 threes against Davao, and a lot of those coming from Joseph Sedorifa and Ino Comboy. Comboy had 4 3-point shots against the Tigers.
And Tampos was really picking his poison. You see a Bam Gamalinda that's gonna score, trying to score in the paint. You know that's higher percentage, so you leave out the shooter. And thankfully for them, made a good pass.
Cebu not noticing that their shot clock was already winding down. Took too long to have something develop there. That ball never left the top. Coach Mike Reyes on that Cebu sideline, trying to lead his team back to the winning column tonight. They're still up by 15 points, 68 to 53. Almost 3 minutes gone by here in the 4th frame. Tibayan gets it to the corner. There's a foul on the pass. It's going to go against Daryl Manliguez. That's going to be number 3 against the former Valenzuela player. 19 seconds on the shot clock here for the Mindoro Tamaraos. And you could feel that there's something developing here para sa Tamaraos. They just need to get themselves together defensively, because offensively, they are already finding their mark.
Definitely, and Ino is getting a really good groove right now. So far, he's, the scoring option outside.
Back-to-back hits para kay Comboy, and Manzo gets the steal and the score. 68 to 58. 4 na puntos pa lang sa laro na to para kay June Manzo. But Mindoro well within reach. Manliguez having trouble with the rock. Another steal by the Tamaraos, this time from Tibayan. Tibayan goes hard. Tibayan gets the score.
And we talked about flow, and they're getting to that now. If you're Mindoro, now if you're the Classics, you gotta settle down and understand you gotta survive this run. Oh, boom, Tampos.
And that just might settle them down. Boom Tampos with a booming 3 to bring some order back to the side of the Cebu Classic. 6 minutes remaining in this game. Tibayan guarded by Dolan Adlawan. Comboy has been the hot hand here in the 4th for the Tamaraos. Aggressively defended here by Manliguez. He makes the pass. Gamalinda from the outside off the back rim.
How about that defense by Daryl Manliguez, though?
Meneses trying to force his way past Gamalinda, who didn't give him an inch. Sedorifa to Manzo. Comboy doesn't go for the 3. Out to Sedorifa. Manzo back to Joseph. Can they finally get it? No. That ball goes right back to Mindoro. Sedorifa, another try. He will not miss twice. Joseph Sedorifa. And Janjan Habonete is down again.
Wow, and making shots from the outside. That's pretty much how Mindoro's come back. I mean, they've been searching for that 3, and guys have responded here in the 4th.
Mindoro now up to 9 3-pointers in this game. If you just tuned in, remember they had 13 made threes against the Davao Occidental Tigers, and that's been a common theme for them in their past 2 wins against Davao and Marikina.
And the guys who've actually made those threes from the outside, Combo is 4 out of 10, Bienes is 2 out of 2, Cebu Rifa is 3 out of 9, and those 3 guys have really stood out in terms of making threes.
But this is just what happened. After that made 3 by Cebu Rifa, what's Tibayan and Habonete? Oh, there was a hit by Jonas Tibayan. Might have actually even been a couple of hits.
And twice already in this game that those 2 guys have figured out. The first one, could say in it. Vernon couldn't say about this one though.
Yes, Tibayan for that hit below the right eye of John Habonete. And after the review, that unsportsmanlike foul will be called on Jonas Tibayan for an act of violence.
Yeah, and lucky for him, the first one was inadvertent, because if that was also called an unsportsmanlike, he would have been gone.
But this is an interesting development at this point of the game. The Mindoro Tamaraws are on a run here, Coach. They're only down by 8 points. They were down by as much as 24 in this game, and you hate for these kinds of things to happen because napuputol yung momentum mo.
Agree. Lalo na pinag-uusapan natin to. Importante sa Mindoro to get into a good rhythm.
Abonete is now at the line for 2 shots. He's been solid tonight para sa Cebu Classic. Along with Dolan Adlawan, Ken Holmqvist, that front line has held the fort for their team tonight.
Yeah, and he's been taking hits too and surviving and knocking down free throws.
And staying cool about it too.
Oo. Tibay din eh.
But Jonas Tibayan will have to take a seat on the bench first, trying to cool down here. The Tamaraws down by 10 points after those 2 free throws by John Habonete. Ball possession will still be with the Classic.
Now, if you're the Classic, you got to stay on how you've been playing this game, because if this is going to be down the wire, ooh, what a pass!
Wow! I was absolutely speechless right there. I saw that the cut was about to happen. I didn't think that he was about to make the pass. This is our assist of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. What a play there by the Cebu Classic. Daryl Manligues with that intense delivery to Boom Boom Tampus.
But quick thinking though by Boom Tampos. I felt that RJ thought that it was going to be a pin down, a wide one, or a post pin down. But, he went otherwise and just cut straight through the middle. And RJ Ramirez didn't see that cut. And Daryl, being the point guard that he is, just found Boom Tampos inside.
They absolutely caught Mindoro's defense off guard, and they put more cushion on this lead. 76-63. Remember, Tampos, after that game against Caloocan, where he was absolutely fantastic, helping the Cebu Classic to their first win of the season in their season opener. It's been a struggle for him. He's been up and down in their next games.
That's right.
Bienes, that's a tough look. Tried to get it off the glass. Cebu forces the miss.
Not a good flow on that last set. Multiple dribbles, ball was not hot. Guys just sticking around for Mindoro that time.
The Classic have been a very consistent defensive team this season, but what hasn't been consistent for them has been their offense. But in this game, it has been fantastic. Though in that possession, they forced themselves into a shot clock, almost a shot clock violation, but Tampos getting it back. Kaya lang matatawagan ng foul ang Cebu.
Yeah, offensive foul definitely on Boom Tampos. Used that left hand to try and get rid of that defense that was closing out. And tama ka doon, Javi. Ganda ng opensa nila dito sa game na to, except for that last one where, that ball really got stuck with Habonete. You got to move the ball around. That's been pretty much, Classics basketball in this game.
Mindoro wants to get a win here, not only to extend their winning run, but also to get back to 500. Currently at 5-6 right now. Cebu Rifa from the corner. That's a miss.
And I say, regardless the outcome of this game, you gotta tip your hats off to Mike Reyes. I mean, he's just spun this game around with how that ball has moved. 3 on its way. No,
One of the best coaches in Cebu. Only fitting that he leads this team in the MPBL. Comboy on the run. Adlawan. Oh, access denied!
wow.
Comboy gets it back. 3 on the way. Rims out. Tampos had to soar for that rebound.
Oh my goodness.
Cebu Classic defense on point here in this game against the Tamaraos. They will slow things down. Absolutely no need to rush. Adlawan has it against Gamalinda. Shot clock at 5. He needs a teammate.
Good defense.
Habonete makes himself available, and that's a violation. A 24-second shot clock violation against Cebu. So the Classic going deep into their shot clock the last 3 possessions here, Coach.
Yeah, and playing a lot of defense, including this one right here. Straight up met him at the apex. What a way to swat that shot away.
Spiking it like a volleyball. Ito si Dolan Adlawan holding the fourth inside. Comboy again for 3. This time he makes it.
Yeah, they still got that firepower here.
This
for
is
Mindoro.
far from over.
Agree.
Comboy with 23 points in the game.
Agree.
76-66, under 3 minutes to go. Manliguez calls out the play. Habonete being pressured by Bienes. Manliguez gets it back. He will take the 3. Manliguez gets it to go!
That was big.
Huge answer para kay Daryl Manliguez. Can the Tamaraos respond? Comboy inside the lane. No. The tap goes to Cebu. And that's a foul against Sedoripa. Mindoro already with 14 fouls. They will send Cebu to the free throw line. Manliguez bobbled it for a bit after that handoff by Habonete. Manzo went under the screen. Manliguez, not really a very consistent three-point shooter. That was a gamble that Manzo was willing to make, but it didn't pay off in that play.
And even I would have made that same gamble because earlier you saw Daryl Manliguez miss off a 3.
At free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Manliguez though missing on the first free throw. 0 out of 2 para kay Daryl Manliguez. He tried to go glass on that second one. There's a foul against Cebu, only their 14th foul. That's also number 4 on Daryl Manliguez. Coach Benji Teodoro would like to talk things over here. This is going to be a crucial possession for the Tamaraos with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go.
Yeah, good decision right here.
Check out our special deal from 1xBet when you scan the QR code and claim your special offer. We're back here inside the Marikina Sports Complex where you're witnessing currently this matchup between the Cebu Classic and the Mindoro Tamaraos. This is a crucial possession for Mindoro. They're down by 13 and they just used their final timeout of this game. Cebu still has 3 timeouts to call. 2 minutes remaining in this game. Manzo with the basketball, gets it to Sedoripa. Comboy pops out. Manzo attacks the defense of Tampus. There's a foul on the pass, but Cebu already over the limit.
And really, they're trying to locate shooters outside, and that's their best bet right now. They've made how many three-pointers already? They made 10. They're shooting 25%. You got to go to that.
They had 13 against the Tigers in their last game. Right now, Manzo will try to get 2 points at the line with the clock stop. Mindoro is 8 out of 13 from the charity stripe tonight. 79-67.
And so far, if you're Mindoro, your best bet for made threes are actually Wendell Comboy, Bienes, Cedorifa, pretty much those three.
And those three guys are on the floor for Coach Benji Teodoro. 1 out of 2 for June Manzo. Manliguez trying to take a look inside, but he pulls it back out. Turns out to be a turnover para sa Cebu. Comboy with the rock. That's a foul on Darren Manliguez. Wendelino Comboy will take 2 free throws.
He's done.
That's the 5th foul on Darren Manliguez. But coming in for him, Jeco Bancale, who also has been steady tonight para sa Cebu Classic. He will try to help preserve this impending win, possibly para sa Cebu. They're still up by 12 points, but the door is still slightly ajar here for the Tamaraws. First free throw is good para kay Comboy.
Okay na, kailangan maganda pagkakatimo ni Bancale dito because this lead is not safe considering you got 3-point shooters in Mindoro.
2 for 2 for Ino Comboy. We talk about the importance of getting him going para sa Mindoro. He has answered the call the past few games, including this one. Tampus gets ahead. Tampus hangs in the air and gets the bucket.
Oh my.
The hoop and the harm para kay Boom Boom Tampus.
Oh my goodness, Javi. The elevation, the finish through contact.
Defying the laws of physics, Boom Boom Tampus featured in our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. I will absolutely feel more game if I see more shots like that from Boom Boom Tampus. He extends the Cebu lead back up to 13. Cedorifa needs a 3-point shot here. Blocked from behind. Meneses couldn't get to it on time. Mindoro will keep possession.
And he had to contort his body on that shot. I'm still not over that shot, though.
Can we see that again, please?
Wow.
That's the second time here in the fourth quarter that he's been able to make a 3-point play while Mindoro was threatening to come back.
I'd be surprised if that doesn't get into the highlights.
And now time running out here for the Mindoro Tamaraw. Cebu will try to dribble out as much clock as they can. Tampus with the basketball. He will drive inside, met by Tibayan. He lobs it up for Meneses. Hindi na sa low, but Adlawan is there. No good. Second opportunity. That's good para kay Dolan Adlawan. 84-69. And the Cebu Classic looking good as they try to snap their 3-game losing skid. Bienes still trying to give some hope here for the Tamaraws. 84-71. Nobody looking like they're trying to foul here for Mindoro.
Right.
Bancale will walk it up into their front court. The double comes from Cedorifa. There's a steal by Bienes. Ahead. Cedorifa will get the 2 points. 84-73. 32.9 seconds. Remember, wala nang timeout dito ang Mindoro. Cebu will not call one of their own. Almost a turnover. Bancale chases it. Adlawan will take the 3. This could be the dagger. There's a push. I think that's going to go against Comboy.
Yeah.
They try to wrestle for position against Mark Meneses. So Meneses will be taking 2 shots here.
What a way for these classics to close out this game.
And I'm sure that this is going to be a morale-boosting victory for these Cebu Classic players playing without key players in this game. and they've gone on that losing streak. You know, there were games that they actually had a chance to win it, but bad starts and rough finishes have really done it for them. But in this game, they were spectacular from the opening buzzer until now.
Yeah, short-handed and all, matters how these guys responded, and you just gotta step up and put your hand and applaud the efforts of these classics. Mike and the rest of the guys, Coach Eric, Boom Tampos, everyone played really good Cebu Classics basketball.
Aside from snapping their own losing streak, they also snapped this 2-game winning run. The Cebu Classic back in the winning column in a big way, getting their 4th victory of the season against 7 losses. A lot of great performers in this game for the Classic coach. But our best player of the game brought to you by 1xBet. The title is 1xBet. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet is Boom Boom Tampos.
No question about it. We asked earlier where the scoring is going to come from. You don't have Ladis, you don't have Dennis. You know, the answer's right there. Boom Tampos, alongside the leadership of Daryl Manligas, who I felt did a good job backcourting para dito sa Classics.
19 points, 12 rebounds, including some crazy made shots in this game. Big highlights, and what a way for them to get back on track. Boom Boom Tampos is at courtside with Ms. Gian Lianes.
Congratulations on your double-double performance, Boom Boom. Siyempre, sa laro na ito, undermanned nga kayo kumpara sa Mindoro dahil 10 lang sa inyong lineup ang nakalaro ngayon. Ano yung nakapag-motivate at push sa inyo sa laro today?
Kailangan talaga namin maglaro kahit kulang kami para sa sarili namin to eh.
Boom Boom, meron ka nga mga crucial shots lalo na sa 4th quarter. I think na talagang pinush niyo yung sarili niyo in terms rin of your endurance dahil konti lang kayo. Ano yung sinasabi niyo sa isa't isa lalo na going into that 4th quarter?
Kailangan lang namin talaga magdagdag sa depensa kasi sayang yung lamang namin pag hindi kami magdepensa eh.
And Boom, you guys really defied a lot of odds during this game. I'm sure maraming proud na proud sa inyo. Sino ang gusto mong pasalamatan?
Salamat ako sa Panginoon dahil sa panalong binigay niya sa amin ngayon at salamat sa suporta sa amin sa Team Blancas, sa coaches ko, Coach Howard, Coach Lumer, Coach Jacobs at sa teammates ko at sa kang Boss Ryan Katarman, Mami Katarman and sa CMC Printline o sa lugar ko sa San Isidro Davao Oriental. Shoutout sa inyo at sa mga kaibigan ko ron sila kay Elmer, Labiboy, Leo, kay Bulgar, kay Butyok at sa mama ko at sa papa ko. Shoutout. At sa pamilya ko pala sa Ojimasi. Shoutout sa inyo mga ate.
Congratulations once again. That was our best player of the game, Boom Boom Tampos of the Cebu Classic. Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you, Javi and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. Nice to see the Cebu Classic winning this game in a big way against the Mindoro Tamaraos. Up next, we have the Bulacan Cuyas going up against the Marikina Shoemasters, who are defending their home floor for the first time this season. A battle of teams in the cellars of their division. Keep it locked in here on the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.